Hello, sports fans. Coach Carroll here, and today we're going to talk about UFC 201. And I want to get a lot of people in here to discuss and see what you guys think about the upcoming event tomorrow evening. The main event being Robbie Lawler versus Tyrone Woodley. And just give me a second here. We're going to get the word out, and we're going to get some people in here. All right. Hope everyone's doing great. And I'm really looking forward to these fights tomorrow. I believe the main event's going to be a good fight. Co-main event, Rose. I can't ever say her last name. Okay, Thug Rose. Let's just call her Thug Rose. Nama Nunez or something. I'm not exactly sure. And she is fighting uh, Carolina Kowakovic. She's an undefeated fighter out of Poland. So that should be an interesting fight there as well. Okay, just hitting Twitter, and I need to hit Facebook, and we will get everyone started on these fights and get everybody's opinion on who they think is going to win, all that good stuff. So, and of course, this is a big card coming up, and then of course 202 will be next month around the 20th. Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, the rematch between them two, which I personally believe is going to be a pretty good match, or an interesting match to say the least. All right, I got a couple of groups here. MMA groups that we're going to get in on this discussion. Before I really get into the um, fight breakdowns, I want to get like I said, I want to get everyone opportunity to get in here. But anyone who's already there, if you got any questions or comments, just go ahead and let's get started and let's start talking about what we got going on tomorrow night. Okay, and just so everyone knows, we're going to be having a sports talk show every week. We're breaking down college football conferences starting on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, starting with the Pac-12. If there's anyone who'd like to join along on the hangout and do the debate and breakdown with me, then that would be great. Just let me know, and I'll get back with you the information, get you the link to join, and we can break down the Pac-12 conference. I prefer someone who is familiar with the Pac-12. That way we can, I want to have an unbiased, breakdown and debate and different things like that. So, and of course the people watching, I like you guys to interact, and we can talk and see what everyone's opinion is on the whole situation. But today's going to be MMA, and I'm really looking forward to getting into some good discussion on this, and I hope everyone is excited as well, and because I think tomorrow's got potential to be a really good card. So surely everyone can come in and put their 2 cents in on it. All right. While we're going to we're going main card, but now I'm just going to go to the prelims, and I'm just pulling it straight up from um, UFC.com and just going right down the list on there. All right. It's like all this information at our fingertips. All right, let's see. We're going to go to share screen so that we can, you guys can see what I see. So, just a second. Let me get this stuff straight. All right. Share screen. All right, there we go. That's what I want to see. Okay. All right, let's see. We'll go to the Fight Pass first, see what we got. All right, we got Michael Graves versus Bohan Milicevic. Guys, bear with me on these names. Um, there's a lot of foreign fighters who are in the UFC, and even some of the American names, like Doug Rose. I don't know how to pronounce these guys' names. Okay. All right, Michael Graves. Of course, he's 6-0. And this will be at welterweight. And then Bohan, I'm guessing the J is silent. 14-3 record, so he's a lot more experienced. So I imagine Graves is, coming in against a guy who has more experience than him, obviously. So it's kind of like a test fight for Graves to see what Graves has got. Anyone, if any of you guys have any idea as far as what this guy has done, please feel free to comment, and we'll get this going. Okay. All right, and early pass prelim, the second fight, Ryan Benoit versus Freddie Serrano. You got 8-4, and it gets 3-0. So, and this will be at the flyweight division at 125. Two guys, not a ton of experience. This weight's always exciting to watch. The guys are fast. There's a lot of quick movements going on. So let's go ahead and go to the third prelim, which will be at lightweight. Cesar Armendia versus Damian Brown. And we got 7-3 against 15-9. Two guys with medium experience. I don't know a lot about these guys. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not gonna try to fake it. So, once again, if anyone is familiar with these guys, just please just let me know, and we'll get on there and we'll check it out. So, okay, let's see here. All right, we're gonna get some more, throw some more bait out there, get some people in here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the prelims. We got a light heavyweight fight: Nikita Krylov versus Ed Herman. I'm not sure if Ed Herman's fought at 205 before or not, but looks like he. This is a good picture of him. Looks like he's actually filled out pretty well for this weight. Um, the guy's always had talent. He's never really been an elite fighter or anything on that level, but going coming in against the number 11, yeah, and this guy's 20-4. I'm not very familiar with him. I'm sure I've seen him fight. I've seen pretty much every card that comes out, with the exception of a few. So nothing sticks out at me about this guy. But looking at him, he looks like he's more better put together light heavyweight than Ed Herman is. Although Ed Herman, like I said, does look like he's coming to the weight pretty well. So if anyone wants to join in, just click on the link. If you click on the link, you can just type questions down in below, or if you want to answer questions through Twitter, it's at SportsBanter38. Same as the name of the show and the channel. Should be easy to follow. But please come on in and let's get this discussion started. If anyone has any information on Krylov, please let me know. I'm sure I've seen the guy fight, but off the top of my head, I can't place it right at the moment. So we will get it going. Don't worry. Okay, I'm a lot more familiar with the next fights coming up, and with that in mind, just give me one quick second. All right, I am back, and I do apologize for the delay, guys. All right, let's see here. Okay. If we got any questions anywhere, please come on and let's get this going. All right, let's see here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to the next fight. We have Ross Pearson versus Jorge Masvidal. Very familiar with both of these guys. Two very experienced fighters. Fighting. Okay, they're fighting at welterweight. Ross is usually a lightweight fighter, but honestly, in this fight, I have to go with Masvidal. I feel like he's a skilled fighter. He's the bigger guy. At, let's see, height wise, yeah, he's 71 inches. He's just under 6 foot. He's got 5 inch in reach. I feel like he's quicker, and he's a game fighter. I feel like his boxing and his strikes. He's got good footwork. I believe he's going to be able to pick Ross apart. And I think he could end up hurting Ross, especially at this weight. I'm not sold on Ross as a welterweight. So if it was at lightweight, I'd give him a little better chance as far as takedowns and stuff like that. Masvidal would he'd be a little more wore down, from having to cut the weight and that stuff. But I don't know. I don't believe Ross is going to be able to get him at 170. Which, just a side note, just like McGregor fighting Nate Diaz at 170. I personally didn't believe he could beat him at that weight. I liked his chances a lot better at 155, just because he's just not a 170 pound fighter, and I felt like that put him at a disadvantage against Nate, who actually had fought at 170 for several fights, and although he wasn't great, he didn't do bad either. He was okay, and he had trouble against elite wrestlers at that weight, which to me is to be expected from Nate or Nick Diaz, great fighters, but elite wrestlers always seem to be the guys that give them trouble. But McGregor, to his credit, he took a fight as a champion, one or two weights above his own, and most fighters wouldn't do that. So I got a lot of respect for the guy just for doing that. He'll fight. I mean, you may not like him, love him, or hate him, or whatever. Me personally, I don't. I'm not like a big fan of anybody necessarily. There's a lot of fighters. I either enjoy watching them fight or I don't enjoy watching them fight. And I have to admit, I enjoy watching Conor McGregor fight. He brings it. Win or lose, the guy's gonna put on an entertaining fight. So I commend him for coming back and wanting to fight Nate again at 170. But it's the same as last time. I'm not sold on him at 170 now. Maybe he can prove me wrong. Maybe he can prove other people wrong. But I personally would have recommended that he taken the fight at 155 or something like that, or even 160. But he wants all terms to be the same because he wants to beat Nate Diaz. He doesn't want any excuses, which, hey, tell me another champion that would do that. No other champions in UFC would take risky fights. This guy takes risks, so love him or hate him, you got to give him credit for that. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to just go ahead and go to the next fight. Okay. And we've got Anthony Hamilton versus Damian Grobkowski. Okay, there's a lot of Polish fighters on this card. I thought it was in Atlanta. Am I wrong as far as that's concerned? Or let's see, Atlanta. Yeah, right. There's a lot of Polish fighters on here. I wonder if they have. Do they have a Polish community? I don't know, but like I said, it seems like we're in a lot of Polish fighters. Okay, this is a heavyweight fight. Got 260 against 41. Kowski 20-3, and Hamilton is 14-5. I am familiar with Hamilton. I've seen him a couple of times. He does carry a pretty powerful punch. This Kowski at 20-3. I'm not too familiar with him, but he looks like he can play the part. Just weighing in at 241, he may be the more agile of the two. Kind of up in the air on this one. I'm not sure. So I'll just go ahead and go to the next fight. And we got Wilson Reis versus Hector Sandoval at flyweight 125, 12-2 versus 20-6. Of course, Wilson Reis is the number 7th ranked flyweight. In a division that is not very widely known. Most of the fighters in this division, they really haven't had time to get noticed and get the publicity and different things like that. So we will see how that goes. All right. Just doing a little check around, see what we got. Okay. This is another this kid, Sandoval, I guess this is his opportunity to come in and it's his UFC debut. He's posting a decent record at 12-2, but he's coming in against a veteran guy, and almost always in these situations, the veteran usually prevails. It's usually not even a ranked veteran, and Reyes at rank number 7. I believe it's going to be a welcoming to the big leagues for Sandoval. But that's the great thing about it. We don't know, so I look forward to that fight. Okay, now going to the main card, we got Francisco Rivera versus Eric Perez, 11-6 against 15-6. Both guys have UFC experience. Perez is going to look to do wrestling and take him down. Both guys are in the 60 to 70% range as far as takedowns concerned. They both look like they're wrestlers. Of course, this is at 135. Let's look at the punches. Looks like Rivera is going to be the one. I've seen Rivera fight a few times, and he really brings it. So this should be interesting. Pretty accurate fighter, but Perez, he's usually good when he's good at not getting hit. So we'll see how that goes. Rivera, he has a high knockout percentage at 73. I believe Rivera is going to be hard to deal with, but if Perez is able to weather the early storm, I can see Perez maybe squeaking out a decision. But it looks like a pretty exciting fight to kick the card off. Okay, going on to the next fight, number 9 versus number 13, Justin Scoggins. We all know Uncle Creepy, 13-5. Top 5 flyweight. He's a very good fighter. And then Scoggins at 11-2. He's a good fighter, but at the same time, he has not really been tested. And this will be a huge step up in competition for Scoggins. McCall, even though he hasn't been able to beat Mighty Mouse or the other top 5 flyweights for that matter, he is still a very, very good fighter and very experienced. And I personally believe it's going to be too much for Scoggins. But, I believe Scoggins is going to have a decent showing. I just don't believe he has what it takes at this time to take Ian. But, like I said, it's going to be good experience for him, and we'll see how that fight goes. I look forward to it. I expect it to be a decent fight. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on to this one of my favorite fighters. As far as liking the fight, I love watching Matt Brown fight. He, talent-wise, isn't as talented as the other fighters. Sometimes he seems a little stiff, but Matt, the Immortal Brown, brings it every time. He comes in there with that "I'm going to you up" type of attitude, and you're either going to, do it to me or I'm going to do it to you. There's no in between on this guy. I love he's a hard charger. Like I said, he's not the best athlete, especially at 170 where there's a lot of great wrestlers. But he's a good, solid, all-around fighter who brings it every time he steps into the octagon. He's not quite championship level tier, but I believe he's right under. I mean, he is right there. And on any given day, he could beat these guys who are championship tier. But on a consistent basis, really strong wrestlers give him some issues where, Ellenberger very well could be a guy who could do that. But I'm not so sure he will. Ellenberger's he's a punch or two. He's going to come out trying to throw down with Matt Brown, who was the number 9 ranked welterweight at that moment. So he's not a pushover, and I believe it's going to be a very exciting fight. This is actually, other than the main event, this is the fight that I am most excited about. I love watching Matt Brown fight. This guy, like I said, he brings it every single time, and I believe this is not going to be any different whatsoever. So I'm leaning towards Brown in this fight. I actually believe he could win a decision. He could get a TKO or a knockout or even a submission. He has, in my opinion, more ways to win. I feel like he's the better all-around fighter in this case. But Ellenberger is dangerous. He could catch him and put him away very easily, But I personally don't see that happening. I know Brown can absorb, punishment. He's extremely good, durable, and I believe he'll weather any kind of storm he needs to, and he'll find a way to win this fight. Okay, going to the co-main event, we have Thug Rose versus Carolina. I'm not even going to try to say her name, but she's a undefeated fighter out of Poland. Looks like she is 100% striker. She does not even try to take anybody down. But 6.17 punches landed per minute, and this is all UFC statistics. So 43% accuracy, 3.47. She risks a lot, so she's going to take some punishment. Defense 58.73%, which isn't bad. Rose is the more well-rounded fighter. She has a more crazy style of striking. She kind of just goes all out. Which Carolina at number 5 and Rose at number 3. This is a top 5 matchup. This is a pretty important matchup as far as titles are concerned. I believe the winner of this fight could very well get a title shot. We know how the UFC works. It doesn't always mean just because you deserve it or in the best position to get it that you're going to get it. But, these two girls, I feel like they're going to bring it up. I feel like it's going to be mostly a striking match because even though Rose, she is a decent ground fighter, she likes to scrap. So she's going to come out, pretty much throwing her wild array of strikes to start off the fight, which, I love her diverse strikes. She comes all out, and she's one of my favorite fighters to watch as well. I really think she's entertaining. And from looking at Carolina's stats and everything, it looks like she's going to come forward as well. So I think this is going to be an exciting fight. Just because of her all-around ability, I'm going with Rose on this one. But it's one of those cases where I wouldn't be surprised either way. And like I said, the winner of this fight could get a title fight or a title shot. So I look for both of them to pretty much come out, guns blazing, going for that title shot. All right, now finally we're going to go ahead and go to the main event, and I really love this fight. Of course, we got the champion Robbie Lawler versus number 4 Tyron Woodley, and Robbie Lawler, all the experience in the world, 26-10. Don't look at those 10 as losses, look at them as education. This guy has been through it, and he has learned through all of his losses, and he is basically a product of those 10 losses, what we have today. Woodley, he is the better athlete in this fight, in my opinion. 15-3, college wrestler. Just look at the guy. He's built like a solid athlete. And there's no as far as what these guys are going to do. We know that Lawler is going to want to strike. We know Woodley is going to want neutralize Robbie's strength and take Lawler down and win the fight like that. So like I said, take a look at the stats. Of course, Robbie Lawler 3.51 landed per minute. 2.56 for Woodley. Accuracy 44.93. 50.4. Woodley throws a lot less, so his percentage is up a little bit. Robbie absorbs a lot of punishment. We all know this. 3.69. Woodley 2.72. Wrestlers usually can't keep that down. Defense 62.71 for Lawler and 58.71 for Woodley. They're pretty close there. Grappling, takedown average 122, 44%. Defense 91%, and submission 0.51. Lawler 0.82 takedown average, 68% takedown accuracy. He attempts takedowns a lot less than Woodley, so his percentage is considerably better. And then takedown defense 67.33, which Lawler, that's actually pretty good, because Lawler probably spends most of his fights defending the takedown, because nobody wants to stand and brawl with this guy. Of course, TKO percentage 74% for Lawler and 40% for Woodley. We all know Lawler is going to come in and he is going to brawl and brawl and brawl. And just like his fight against Condit, he will leave every single bit of himself in that octagon. He is going to put it all out there. Woodley, he gets mad when Rogan talks about him tiring out and different things like that. But sometimes he does tire out. So, that's just a fact. When you're muscular and the blood's got a supply that, your body and all that good stuff, you can easily sometimes. I mean, it's not saying not in shape, it's just saying for the energy you're exerting, your body can't fuel you, and this is a 5-round fight. I'm going to be honest right now. Robbie Lawler has, I don't even know how to explain it. I guess he has that dog in him. That dog, and you're just, he's going to find a way to win. The man's got that dog. And I'm telling you, Robbie Lawler is going, he will die to defend that belt. And I don't know if Woodley will. I don't know if Woodley will put forth that kind of effort. Well, don't get me wrong. I take that back. He will put forth that effort, but I don't know if he can last 5 rounds with Robbie Lawler. I seen Tyron Woodley get knocked out by Nate Marquardt, and I feel like Robbie Lawler's a different animal than Nate Marquardt. Now, granted, that fight was a few years ago when he got knocked out to Marquardt, but you don't train your chin, okay? He can still get knocked out. He's a better fighter than he was when he fought Marquardt, but I do not believe he's going to last this whole fight without getting hurt by Robbie Lawler's strike. And that's a very huge point, because when Robbie Lawler hurts you, it's like a shark in water. When there's a drop of blood, he can he will get you out of there. I mean, if he hurts Woodley, I feel like he will finish him off, whether it be TKO, KO, or what have you. Lawler's got that dog, man. I honestly thought Lawler was going to lose to Condit, and personally, I thought he did. I thought Condit did enough, but Lawler's strikes were more effective, but Condit hit him a whole lot more. So I mean, it's gotta count for something. Just like Dominic Cruz, a lot of his strikes in most of his fights are not that effective, but he scores the most. That's why one reason I thought that Condit won. And then after seeing Condit lose that kind of decision, I thought for sure that Cruz lost to Dillashaw for kind of the same reason. Cruz hit him a lot, but he didn't have any. It wasn't nothing effective. I felt like Dillashaw's punches were more effective. Anyway, I digress. Go back to this fight. This isn't going to be anything like that. Woodley's going to try to get Lawler on the ground and kind of outpoint him, ground and pound, and do those sort of things because he's not going to want to stand and brawl. And if he does, Woodley's got a strong punch and he could hurt Lawler, but Lawler will push through it. I've seen the guy get hurt several times. He just don't quit. So I mean, you literally have to kill this guy to get the belt from him. For that reason, I'm going with Lawler. So. We didn't really get any participation today, but that is okay. We will be here Tuesday, just like we will always be, and we will go over the Pac-12 for this coming college football season. Anyway, I'm done with the fights, guys. Anyone who watches this video, I appreciate you watching. Please like and share. I want to get the show out there so more people will get involved, and we can have some question and answer, some debates, and different things like that. But guys, I want to, let's see, is anything else? We are going to do a recap of these fights next week. I'm going to say Wednesday will be a good day to do that. So anyone who is interested and wants to debate what happened, feel free to join. I'll have the link in Twitter. I'll have the link on Facebook. And we'll get some people in here and we'll talk about these fights. The last thing, give me 1 second. Let me get my face back on here. Okay. All right. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the new sports app coming out this fall to kick off with the NFL football season. It's an interactive app. The way it works is, say, for example, you're a Cowboys fan, and when you downloaded the app, you chose Cowboys, and the app was customized for your preference. So say it's 3rd and 10, and the app will prompt you to basically make a pick. Say, do you think they're going to go left? Do you think they're going to go right? Do you think they'll get the first down? How many yards? Who do you think will get the pass? Different questions like that. And the more points you get, it opens you up to win prizes like shirts, hats, electronic devices, game tickets. Different things like that. It's 100% free. You can start parties within the game and compete against people. You can compete against yourself, against the field, however you see fit. But, it's a new interactive experience that you can watch during a live game. So, it sounds like a lot of fun. If you're interested, just please give me your name, email, and phone number, and I will get you an invite to the app. It's invite only at the moment, and it's going to be invite only for a while. So if you want to get an early footing in on this new sports app, just please let me know, and we will get you set up and get an invite sent and get you registered. That way you're ready to roll by the time the season starts. And that's all I got with this this episode. And I will see you guys Tuesday. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And this is Coach Carroll, and I am out.